Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and today I've got something on the table that I find absolutely fascinating, and I think you're going to find it interesting as well. This is a 1916 Spanish Mauser. It has a lot of history behind it. It's got a great backstory to it, and as I've been doing my research on it for the past several months, I'm more and more excited to have this in my collection. This 1916 Spanish Mauser came from J&G Sales. Obviously, you guys know that because of YouTube policies, I cannot link that here. However, I will be uploading this over on Full 30, and I'll be able to put links in Full 30 so you guys can actually go directly to this if it's something that interests you as well. Now, there's several reasons why somebody might be interested in a 1916 Spanish Mauser. Obviously, I'm interested in it because of the history, because of the backstory, because I had a lot of fun researching this rifle and finding out what it was all about. But another great reason is because they're affordable. These are very inexpensive. J&G Sales sells these at a very good price. They get them by the crate. These are considered MilSerp C&R, which stands for Curio and Relic. So if you have a Type 3 FFL, a C&R license, you can actually have these shipped directly to your house. You don't need to worry about, an FFL or anything like that if you are a Type 3. And so there's a lot of great reasons to buy it. Another great reason is that they have multiple chamberings. Originally, they were chambered in 7mm or 7x57, which is a great cartridge in its own. So if you want an affordable, inexpensive rifle that could take down even the biggest game in North America, right here. And you can find these for under $200. Under $200 chambered in 7x57, able to take down huge game, is an amazing price and a great rifle. It's got a fantastic Mauser action. I mean, can't beat the action. This action was actually game-changing and is found in several different conflicts. And it really did, it really did change a lot of things. For instance, this takes a stripper clip, where at the time a lot of rifles were just, single load, single load, single load, single load fire, right? This would actually take a 5-round stripper clip, push them right down into the magazine, and then you were good to go. You had 5 rounds at your disposal very, very fast, and so that was what was kind of game-changing about it. Now, these are also chambered today. You can find them in 7.62, 7.62 by 5.1. Whether or not they're actually chambered 308, for the different pressures in the cartridge, I'm not sure, but I do know they're chambered in 7.62, 5.1. Now, when you buy these rifles, one word of warning, you don't know what condition they're going to be when you get them. There are ways, I believe, that you can buy them in a specific condition, but most of the time when you buy these, they just pull them out of crates randomly, and they will send one off to you. And some of the conditions are great, some of them kind of suck, some need a little bit of work, and some are kind of in that mid-level condition. This one right here is in fantastic condition. There are no major cracks, there's no major missing wood spots, like you're going to find on a lot of these older rifles that are 100+ years old. You're going to find maybe a little bit of rust, a little bit of pitting. Sometimes there's a lot of rust and a lot of pitting depending on what you get. For the most part, they're rifles that you can work into. You don't have to be a major gunsmith to take these things down, get rid of the cosmoline, any grease or oil that's on them, take care of them, sort of refurbish them in your own garage, and then put it back together and have a great working rifle. As most of these barrels go, these barrels are definitely all shootable. You look down, and for instance, I look down this barrel right here. The rifling looks great. It's a little bit dark, but there's no pitting, there's no rusting or anything like that, and the barrel has been preserved really well, so I'm happy about that. The sights on these are adjustable sights. So these sights are adjustable for windage and elevation. They are very easy to use, but they are kind of crude and a little bit primitive. The rear notch on the rear sight here is definitely hard to pick up. However, because of the design of this sight system right here, they actually do make a 1913 Picatinny scope base that you can put on here if you want to put a long eye relief scope on this rifle and use it for hunting or more precise target shooting. You could do that as well. So you could take off this rear sight, you can put on an actual Picatinny base, and then put whatever scope you want on it. So if you didn't want to leave it in its original configuration because it's hard to use those rear sights, that's completely understandable. You can change that out and do it like that. The action on these rifles that I've seen, I've done a lot of research on what people have gotten, have all worked great. Sometimes you get them, they're completely coated with cosmoline, so it's just got this brown gunk. You have to take it apart, take all the cosmoline off. That's to help protect against rust and everything else. So it's not a bad thing that it's on there. You just need to take it off. Another great thing about this action is, the Mauser action is fantastic. So we have a three position safety. We have ready to fire, which is to the left of the firearm, straight up and down, which is where we're going to have our position in order to take the bolt out. And then we have it on safe. You put it on safe, you pull the trigger, absolutely nothing happens. Flip this thing back over. So basically your 9 o'clock position, and this thing is ready to go. The firearm has been safety checked, but I'll go ahead and I'll check it again. And the trigger pull is actually surprisingly good. So a great action. It's got, it's a usable rifle for not a ton of money. But I do want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about the history of this particular one, because like I said, you know, half the fun when you're dealing with these rifles right here is doing your research on what you got, because not all 1916 Spanish Mausers are the same, were built in the same place, and you know, you have some that are Chilean, you have some that are Spanish, and depending on what head stamp you got, you can kind of do a little bit of research and find out what it is. You can also take a look at the serial numbers and maybe do a search online and see if you can find the serial numbers as well. So that's one of the ways. So let's take a quick look at the head stamp here, and I'll kind of describe to you exactly what you're looking at. Now, the first thing I did when I started my research was I took a picture of the head stamp, and then using my phone, I just simply enlarged it so that I could read a little bit better what it says on here. And it says Fabrica De Armas. And I'm about as white as a Lay's potato chip, so please excuse my Spanish. But Fabrica De Armas in Oviedo, España. So Oviedo, Spain. This is, I believe, that just manufacturer of arms, Oviedo, Spain. But the great thing about that head stamp is it let me know that this actually was made in Spain. And the maker of this was making these for the Spanish military from 1916 to 1951. So it is a legit manufacturer, a Spanish one versus the Chilean one. And so that kind of gave me a lot of information about this rifle that I thought was really interesting. And you read more and more about it. And when it was created, this one actually has a stamp that says 1929. So you'll find some that are 1923 and so forth. You know, again, they made them further on down the road. Some of them were chambered in 7.62 by 5.1 and so forth. But this one right here is an original 7mm, 1929 is the stamp on there. Again, made in Spain, and it's really just, it's fun to read about it, you know. And Oviedo is where it was made in Spain, so you know who made it, you know where it was made, you know the year that it was made, and you'll have the serial number on the receiver as well. So you do get a lot of information when you get these. Now, there are some that will come without any type of head stamp at all. I don't know if the head stamp has been, you know, manually removed or what happened there. Or maybe they just were trying to manufacture them so fast during a conflict that they thought, you know, it would save time if they didn't put the head stamp on there. But nonetheless, this is, you know, something that I think is a great indicator of exactly what you're looking at. Now, lastly, I want to mention how nice the Mauser action is. I mean, this thing is extremely smooth. This actually has a follower that stops the action from going forward once you expend all of your ammunition. That was, again, kind of one of the things that really helped out, is you knew when you were empty, you didn't go through the motion of, you know, bringing it back and locking it down, pulling the trigger only to find out that there was nothing actually chambered in there. It would lock it back. That follower would come up and stop it, so you have to push down the follower and then bring the bolt back in. It's got a 2-lug bolt face on it. It's really nice. And it is just extremely, extremely smooth. Everything is really nice about it. Now, when you get to this point right here, the action actually stops. And this is how it gets cocked. You would basically bring it forward like that, bring it down, and then you could see it's cocked because this piece in the rear right here, which is basically the hammer or the striker, is cocked in this rearward position. Now, again, we know that this is empty because I just pushed it down with my finger. And you can see that that shoots home and allows us to bring it back again and so forth. So just a great action. I really like this thing a lot. Again, I can't put links in the description because of YouTube's firearms policies. So if you want to check this out and you want more links, head over to Full 30. Subscribe to me over there. You're going to see more videos on this 1916 Spanish Mauser right here coming up in the future, where I'm going to take it down. We're going to clean it up. I'll show you guys that procedure. And then we're going to take it out and do a little bit of shooting. So it should be some fun. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.